At 2017, January 2nd, that was the day when I first came to CDEM and gave my first sermon to the kids during their winter VBS. I still remember taking a cold shower after sleeping in school because my house was quite far. And in the morning, I turned on the water and realized that there was no hot water. And since it was winter, I turned on the heater and I was sweating. So I had to take a shower. So when I think of the first moment when I came to CDEM, it was literally cold. And I still remember it because I never took that cold shower before. And since it was the first time being as a staff member here, everything was difficult. Copying the bulletin, preparing the service, aligning the Bible before service, and all the things that we had to do to prepare for worship was not easy. Not easy to memorize, not easy to participate. And everything was hard. The first challenge that I ever faced here was not just aligning bulletins or printing them, but it was to make youth group. And now that I say it, when I was in youth group, when I was a teenager, I hated going to church because I never liked youth group. And then all my life till I came to Chungdong, I never liked youth group, and I found myself, I have to create one and I'll be in charge. Then I found out that I have to be leading praise team. And before I came here, I was never used to playing guitar and sing at the same time because I'm a terrible multitasker. And if I could sing but not play the chords, I could play the chords but not sing. And I didn't like singing in front of other people. And that was me when I first came here. And when I started youth group and led worship service, I was really doubtful to myself because all I ever could think of was that I'm not ready, I'm not worthy, I'm not prepared. And most of all, I didn't feel that God was next to me. So everything that I came here to do was ministry but felt like a job. So day by day, although it was a great time with the kids and great time with the praise team members, as I continued on, I slowly burned out. And around September, I thought that I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. And then I planned to drop out of university and quit everything. My life was anything but happy, even though I was doing ministry, saying that I was working for God. But just before I put the plan into action, I found out that I was misunderstanding God. He didn't want me to do the work. He never wanted me to feel unhappy. That was not his plan. But he let me come here for a purpose. And I found out that all he wanted to do was the best for me, and that he wanted to be with me. That was his purpose. And that was all he ever wanted. And after knowing who God was, not just who God was, but who God was to me, my life changed. Not just the surface, like my appearance or the things I do or the time I spent did not actually change that much. But I knew that my software was completely upgraded by God's grace. And I could feel that He was the one doing it, and I was the one who is following. Where before, I was the one who was doing, saying that it is for God. I realized that I was burned out because I tried to do it, not God. And 2018 became a blessing. Every day I was filled with joy and happiness. And now I think of it, I had more work than last year because we had to move. So all the staff had to unpack more than 100 boxes. And while we were doing that, we had to prepare for the kids' summer VBS, and not forget the mission trip that we went just a few days, I remember, right after the VBS. So we had to do all those things. And me and my staff members were also in university, we're studying in university. So we had to take care of our school and church. So I remember it was a busy summer and a busy year. If just comparing to work, I should have been out. I couldn't have been standing here. I couldn't have been finishing what I've started. But thankfully, I remember 2018 as a blessing, and not just a blessing, but the greatest blessing that God has given me. And He allowed me to meet wonderful people, experience wonderful things that I couldn't even imagine. And this year, I learned what was to be a church, what is to be in God, and what is to be with God. I now smile, laugh, breathe, and walk because of God's amazing grace. And I found out this because of this church. And thanks to every one of you, I was able to figure that out. And I hope you would find it too. God is with you. May you be with God too. Thank you.